Watching videos on dating advice probably isn't going to teach you what you're really looking for, nor does it solve the root of your problems. In fact, watching those videos is probably only making your problems worse. Let me explain. During my first 2 years of college, I was obsessed with going out, partying, and trying to hook up with as many girls as possible. After coming out of a 3-year relationship with my first girlfriend, I was rusty and lost a bit of confidence due to being dumped and having been out of the game for so long. Throughout high school, I never had a ton of trouble with women, but I certainly was not confident with myself and really able to talk with my chest unless I had at least some amount of alcohol in me. So for guidance, I turned to one of my friends who had a lot of success in that department. In an effort to not reveal his actual name, let's just call him Rob. When I looked at Rob, I was astonished at how he could so effortlessly talk to women, have them be attracted to him, and eventually get them to sleep with him. His body count is ridiculous. I think it's something in the triple digits. When I asked him how he did it, he gave me some basic advice. Be flirtatious, humor her, and feel out the situation as you're talking to the woman. Pick up on the signal she's giving you and how she's reacting to you, and act accordingly. It was decent advice, but I still felt like I needed to dig a bit deeper, so naturally I went to YouTube. I watched a lot of dating style videos on how to be confident, how to flirt, and how to be more attractive, and after a lot of consumption, I felt like I was ready to apply what I learned. And surprisingly, I had some success. I'd go out to parties, and when I was drunk enough, I'd muster up the courage to talk to girls and even sometimes hook up with them. But when it came to any time I wasn't in a party situation and I was trying to attract a woman, it always felt off. I didn't know what it was, but I just couldn't seem to hold myself correctly or have any of the right things to say. And looking back on it, I definitely appeared to be kind of creepy to at least a handful of women that I tried to be with. But it didn't make sense to me. I had acquired what I had thought to be valuable and useful knowledge from my friend and the internet, but I still felt like a creepy loser. And despite having some successes, those superficial hookups were never able to fill my void of loneliness. It wasn't until I stepped away from all of that for a while and reflected back on those past mistakes that I finally understood why I had failed so often and why Rob had the success that he had. There's a lot of different layers to it, and a lot of it involves watching dating videos, so I'm gonna try to explain this the best that I can. And first, we need to explain how one even gets to the point of looking for advice on women online. As a young guy, you have no solid conception of how to treat and interact with a woman if you've never had a father figure. If you are someone who feels like they are required to watch videos on how to flirt and talk with women in order to understand women, then it's safe to assume that you didn't have that father figure in your life. While I love my dad to death, he never really gave me any sort of advice on how to interact and socialize with the girl that you're attracted to. A lot of young guys' best teacher for not only telling them how to treat a woman, but also how women are, is their mother. And there's two immediate problems with this. Dating has changed massively since your mother was dating, but also she can only see it from a woman's point of view. And if your mom is anything like my mom, she'll probably only teach you how to be a nice guy, but in all the wrong ways. Although not all of her advice was awful. And I say nice guy hesitantly because obviously you have to be nice, but that term has taken on a completely different meaning in modern times where it refers to a guy who is very clearly desperate for even an ounce of attention from women. Rarely does a mom's advice ever have to do with how to make the first move and how to talk with the girl who you just met. Not only that, but if most of your experiences with women in your life so far have only been with your mother, then that's gonna shape how you think women are. I actually met up with a subscriber recently, and he was telling me about how he never had a girlfriend and he felt scared when he tried to approach and socialize with a woman. It was interesting to hear because I don't feel as though we're just born being scared of women. Our natural inclination is definitely not to tense up, start sweating, and have your heart beating really fast. It must have developed somewhere later down the line in life. So I decided to ask him what his mom was like. He told me she was kind of scary and demanding and always had control over him and yelled at him. And when he told me that, it made sense as to why he felt this way towards women. The women that he's spent the most time with in his life so far was an intimidating authority figure that ruled over him. That, on top of probably getting rejected several times by girls he likes and not knowing how to handle it or grow from it, led to him developing this irrational fear of women and treating them like they're an authority figure. So what does a young straight guy who lacks a solid father figure in his life and is curious to quench his biological need of appealing to the opposite sex do? He browses the internet for answers. And pretty much the only information you're ever gonna get on the topic are from red pill YouTubers and pickup artists. As a young guy with no experience and no father figure, what's the alternative? The problem is there's virtually no alternatives other than these sources on the internet. Now, I'm not saying these videos are always bad. As I've stated in previous videos, I have taken some valuable insights from red pill videos and even probably a small handful of pickup artist videos. But what most of these videos don't teach you, and this is the biggest problem, is how to develop a real relationship with a woman and the root cause as to why you get attached so easily and become scared or desperate in the first place. This is why my friend Rob had so much success and why I felt so lonely and only had confidence when I was intoxicated. Now let's dive deeper into the superficiality of these videos. Right off the bat, the main focus of these videos is what to say or how to act around a woman. Maybe they give you the top 3 ways to flirt over text or how to approach a girl at the club. So let's say you watch the video, you apply their advice, and it actually works. Well, what now? How do you keep the conversation going? How do you know how to act after the initial engagement? What I've learned from my experience is that women can feel when a guy is not confident with himself. Even if you know exactly how to approach and maybe even talk a little, she will almost be able to sense that you are a shell who has only gotten his talking points from dating videos, and under that shell lies no real substance. You won't know how to continue your interaction and her attraction towards you because all you've learned is some superficial advice on the internet as to how to get laid. And this is when you start to come off as kind of a creep. When you're so immersed in the manosphere and dating videos, and worst of all, dirty websites, your view of women and what you think relationships are like gets completely skewed from reality. But you'll keep coming back to these videos because they prey on your biggest insecurities without giving you the actual solution as to why you're insecure in the first place. This creates a vicious cycle where one watches dating coaches and advice videos, goes and tries to apply it, doesn't see much success, gets even more insecure about themselves because they're unsuccessful, and then keeps on clicking on the dating videos. If they were to actually give you a solution based on why you feel the way you feel about yourself in the first place, and they told you that no amount of success with women will ever make you feel better about yourself if you don't fix your deeply rooted beliefs about yourself and the world, then they'd lose a customer. It's just surface level advice with an attractive women in the thumbnail and a title that calls out one of your insecurities, so you click. It's the exact strategy that I used for the title and thumbnail of this video, minus the surface level advice, and I promise you that this video is gonna do above average on my channel simply because I understand how much of my audience is currently stuck in this loop. So knowing what we know, let's go back to my friend Rob. Rob had such success because somehow he understood all of this at a young age and had a massive amount of suave, confidence, and charisma within himself that he developed as a result of having so much experience and learning from it, not because he watched a bunch of dating videos. The truth is, no amount of videos on dating can fix a lack of self-respect and confidence, and that's why I don't make them. You learn how to talk to and attract a woman by actually going out and doing the act, using personal reflection to ask yourself what you did wrong, and then improving it the next time. That, on top of having the mentality of, no matter how this goes, I really don't care and it's not gonna affect my self-image. And that sort of mentality is created through much of what I try to talk about in my videos, like changing your beliefs, letting go, being more introspective, and changing your perception of reality through things like philosophy. Once I finally looked within and questioned why I was placing so much of my value on whether girls rejected or accepted me, I realized that I did not feel good enough on my own due to what I went through in my upbringing. Throughout my life, up until that point, I let other people decide how I felt about myself through what they told me about myself. Once I made that shift from letting my inner thoughts control me to instead observing them without judgment, asking myself where they came from, and realizing they were a product of my shitty programming, then I started the process of actively changing them and doing the necessary work to feel better on a regular basis by doing things such as meditating, journaling, spending time in nature, and working out. And after I did all that, the things that most women find attractive, like holding eye contact, having good body posture, confidence, charisma, ambition and drive, assertiveness, decisiveness, and self-respect, came naturally as a byproduct. When you're a teenager or in your early 20s, as so many of you are, basically nothing you've experienced in your life so far has taught you to feel that way about yourself. These people that make these dating videos know that, and they will take advantage of that, and they do. The process of shifting your beliefs and changing your habits to more positive things that promote self-growth and happiness is not an easy task. It requires a ton of work on your end, the ability to track your progress and habits as you create them, and some sort of positive community to help you through that whole process. And that is where the app designed for self-growth, Fabulous, the sponsor of today's video, comes in. If you find it hard to rewire your brain and adopt a new routine, it is much easier with a digital coach, and that's what the Fabulous app does. It is a way to encourage you to develop healthy habits through positive reinforcement. It's basically a happiness trainer that uses insights from behavioral science to develop great habits that will enable you to live the life you finally want. There's a few reasons why Fabulous sets itself apart from all these other self-growth apps. Unlike other self-development apps, Fabulous encourages you to actually go at your own pace. It's gentler, more rewarding, and has a much more supportive approach. The first approach is habit tracking. You can pick among more than 100 recommended habits or create your own. And when you complete those recommended habits, they always give you some sort of positive reinforcement, whether it's in the form of a message or a whole letter they can have you read as well in relation to some of their recommended habits. Then they also have what is called dedicated programs. You choose these journeys which basically immerse you in your own personal adventure over several weeks. You receive regular letters filled with inspiring and motivating lessons that guide your process. And at the end of each letter, you will commit to a positive action for that week. Along with that, things that I really like that they have and that I use are coaching sessions. Yes, they have coaching sessions within the app. My nightly coaching for today has me breaking free from the confines of perfection. And then, of course, like I said, they have a community page. This is where you can get tapped into a community based on what you're trying to learn or get better at, and you can receive inspiring messages from actual people. Like Jackie, who shared a win in meditation with a picture of flowers. Or Gerald, who is finishing the writing of his first novel. If you are finally ready to start building a daily routine and getting a self-development app that contains all the aspects of what self-growth looks like, then you can click the link in the description and the first 100 people will get 25% off a Fabulous Premium subscription. And with Fabulous Premium, you can build and improve upon an unlimited amount of habits in your routines, and you get access to all of the programs and exercises. So go take advantage of this discount and click the link in the description before it's too late. Now let's get back to what's even worse about these dating videos, which is the fact that they start to make you treat women like they're a commodity. They convince you that women cannot be trusted and that all they want you for is your money and relationships are dead. This attracts a certain type of man, which might sound very familiar to you. A man who has had mostly negative experiences with women because he either tried with women out of his league, was creepy, awkward, or needy, wasn't compatible with those women, or was dealing with an immature, low-quality woman. And because of these experiences, he suppresses his true desires so he doesn't get hurt again, and he stays in this safe space of never going past just sleeping with a woman. And I know this because this was me after I got dumped for a second time. My identity completely shattered, and I never felt so about myself, so I started to think that women were nothing more than untrustworthy people who you could potentially sleep with. Even though deep down, something in me knew it wasn't true, and that wasn't what I truly wanted. It was a reactive defense mechanism that I used so I wouldn't get hurt again. And these dating videos only help to exacerbate those problems, appeal to your insecurities, and don't teach you how to heal from your past negative experiences. Finally, after all the inner and outer work that I've done to feel better about myself on a consistent basis, I can say with confidence that whether a woman likes me or not, or whether I'm with a woman or not, does not at all affect how I feel about myself. I don't think it's stupid to assume that what most people really want, what they're really searching for, is for intimacy and a deep connection with someone special. Not to absolutely need a significant other in order to complete your life, but rather someone to love, someone to experience life with, and someone who will complement you and help you grow. And the problem with these dating videos is the majority of them teach you how to pick up women, not keep them. Not too long ago, I actually had a huge revelation when I finally stopped struggling with sticking to nofap. I realized that the main reason I wanted to pull my pants down and do the dirty deed wasn't because I was just horny and trying to have sex, but rather that in that moment I felt lonely and I was lacking the social connection that I needed, both platonically and romantically. Just shifting to the act of wanting to pursue more friendships and a potential relationship and putting myself out there, even before I actually got a lot of those connections when I moved here to Austin, made me stop choking the chicken. Now, by virtue of those 3 or 4 nofap videos I made blowing up on my channel and how much the nofap audience is intertwined with the Manosphere audience, I'm in this weird position where I'm kind of in the men's self-improvement Manosphere type space while actively trying to revolt against a lot of what's preached in it. And I know I'm kind of in this space because, like I said, I know this video is gonna do above average. It puts me at kind of a weird crossroads, but I think it gives me the ability to bring to this space my unique perspective on mental health, getting through life's inevitable suffering, and how to actually love yourself so you can stop watching dating videos, eventually find someone special, and make it last. And now that I've been in my 3rd serious relationship for almost 5 months now, and it's been going so smoothly, I feel like I can bring your true desire to you guys. What is considered attractive to most women, how to develop that, and create a healthy long-term relationship with her. I'll probably only make a couple videos on it in an act to not get you stuck in another vicious cycle that doesn't actually help you. If you are interested in that, then let me know in the comments, but for now, if you want to improve your social skills and become more socially confident, then check out my entire playlist on how to build relationships with others right here on screen. And thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. If you don't know what this is, it's a platform separate from YouTube where I'm putting out exclusive content and you can talk to me one-on-one over the phone on there. If you want to check that out, link in the description as well, patreon.com/ColeHastings. That's it for this video. I hope it helped. I'm gonna go now, bye.